And welcome back to Contemporary Black Voices, folks. And again, my name is Caleb, and joining me today is Dr. Mario Salas, and we are talking about the release of the Epstein emails. And for this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the danger of that. And so, a lot of times when you reach this point in crisis, a lot of people, a lot of authoritarian regimes want to create a distraction from those troubles, from those domestic troubles. Yeah. And a lot of the ways they do it is by stirring up international incidents. And so we have the Trump administration who has been conducting these extrajudicial killings in the Caribbean, killing Venezuelan citizens, even so far as killing them off the coast of Venezuela, 3,000 miles away from the U.S., claiming that they were drug boats that would never even reach the United States if they could. But yeah, and so now he is actually moving a carrier battle group and an entire task force closer to Venezuela. And so is this going to be what do you call it, the wagging the dog incident, where we're going to create an incident and maybe do airstrikes or even a ground war against Venezuela in order to distract from domestic concerns, Mario?
Yeah, and of course the Venezuelan government is almost on full alert.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what better distraction, as we've seen throughout history, than to start a war?
Right.
What better distraction? I mean, historically it works.
Yes.
There's weapons of mass destruction, only to find out there weren't any.
Right.
So the Vietnam War and the Gulf of Tonkin.
Right.
Tonkin.
Yeah.
Tonkin.
You got it.
An incident that never happened.
Right.
It's always some made-up excuse to go to war. Mm-hmm. So Trump is going back to that mega idea of what's acceptable to the American people. If the government says we need to do this, do that, and do the other, people generally want to accept it must be true, or there must be some truth to it. Well, you know, not always.
No.
So people are not keeping a skeptical mind like they should.
Right,
and
right.
skeptical minds are people that believe in democracy.
Right.
Because you can't just trust one person, even if he's the president,
right,
that what he's saying is actually factual.
Especially this one.
yeah, especially this one.
Yeah.
And I forgot to add when we first started this show that the opinions expressed here are ours only and do not reflect Mr. Booker's opinions, do not reflect any institution, do not reflect any of that. But we do believe in the First Amendment to the Constitution, which gives us the right to have opinions, contrary to maybe some other people. but anyway, so the threat of war, calling out the biggest aircraft carrier we have, shooting it over into the Caribbean, actually doing treaties with other small countries, or military exercises, I should say, to kind of bolster that claim. It doesn't look good as far as what could happen. He's desperate, in my opinion. The president is desperate as hell.
Right. Right.
Desperate as hell. Somewhere in them emails, it must say something really bad. It ain't going to be about the dog doesn't bark. It's going to be about the dog who gets his feet stepped on and he's yelping.
Again, we're in a dangerous moment where this administration is looking for a distraction. We've moved equipment and troops into position. And so the thing is, Maduro, right, has done nothing to us.
No.
And only Congress has the ability to declare war. And so this intervention is very, not just constitutional questionable, it's illegal. Let's just be honest with you. It's outright illegal to declare war, for the president to declare war. Only Congress can declare war. And again, Maduro has done nothing. Venezuela has done nothing to us. And
he might actually do it before this coming week. Because when the bombshell might hit this coming Wednesday or so, or at least partially, the week of coming up, could be the time when he's going to try his best to distract.
Right. So
because that's what he's good at, is making up stuff to get you off track, to start thinking about something else.
Right.
And it's easy to get the media. You know, the media in this country is not too smart. You can take, because they're concerned about ratings. You know, make sure he's going to war. That's got to be the main story. See, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Because people are flipping their channel to see what the main story is.
Right.
So Trump's not stupid. He's a dictator, but he's not stupid.
Right.
So he learned to manipulate the media that way.
Right.
And the media is not too bright, and they fall for the manipulation, not just because they're stupid, but because there's money involved.
Right.
They have to tell stories even if they're fake.
Right.
false
So,
stories, invented stuff.
yeah, unfortunately, there are going to be people who will lose their lives in Venezuela over the Epstein files or the Trump files. And so, but at the end of the day, this idea of going to war over so-called drug interdiction or cartels. And so the difficulty I have with it is that we are a constitutional democracy, at least for right now, right? And so this killing of folks without a trial, without, without arrest or trial or a jury of their own peers, and just it's assassinating people. And it's not under any kind of, these people are not a threat to us. It's not a national security type of intervention. They're not plotting. It's not a terrorist plot. It's not an emergency. And so
We had an interdiction program,
right,
where you could, in international waters,
right,
invade ships, search for drugs.
Search ships, right.
If there's drugs there, you arrest them.
Right.
If there's not, let them go. It's just a bunch of fish on the boat.
Right.
But now we're not doing that. We're just blowing to bits someone because they're suspected of drug smuggling.
Highly illegal.
Well, I mean, the mafia has been suspected of drug
Don't
drug
give any
smuggling
ideas.
for
Don't
years.
give any ideas.
I don't see any of them getting bombed.
No, yeah, but don't give any ideas, because they will definitely go in there and go after those inner city communities in Chicago.
I'm sure the idea is already written down in that famous Project 2025 book.
So, and the other thing, Mario, so we remember the Cold War, right? You and I both. We remember we spent billions of dollars building a network to detect Soviet submarines, some of the most quiet submarines. We can detect a drug boat. I don't care how. We can detect an old rusty submarine that's coming through the Caribbean filled with drugs. Mm-hmm. That's not even a problem for us to detect that. We have what we call a SOSIS underground sonar system that can detect anything that's under the water. Really? So it's not. So it's not like these things are. And a submarine full of cocaine is not going to supply a nice sized city. You know what I mean? So it's not like these things are just national security emergencies, or not like these things that we can't detect them and we can't interdict these submarines or interdict these ships and stop this stuff from coming here, right?
Yeah, and most people in the military, soldiers, sailors, they know that.
Yes.
So they, in their minds, even though they not can say anything, in their minds, they know this is a bunch of baloney.
Yes.
That they don't have to bomb a fishing boat under the suspicion of it being a drug smuggling. So anyone claiming that the boats he's already bombed, we're up to 20 of them now?
No, more than that. 'Cause I know it's like over 90, 100. Some people have lost their lives.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of folks that have died.
But doing that just on the grounds of suspicion makes Trump look more suspicious than the boat that's going through the water.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, as far as the International Criminal Court, you know what I mean? And so how are they viewing this? What's going to happen after the administration leaves power? Who's going to be held responsible for this? Are they going to hold Kristi Noem or the admiral who's in charge of Southern Command? Or who's going to answer for these killings, these illegal killings, without trial, without,
Trump better get out his pen when it comes close to him being gone, because he's going to have to pardon about 3,000 or 4,000 people who all had something to do with this. All those ICE agents too, that could be charged with federal crimes. He's going to pardon all them. But the ones who are charged with state crimes, guess what? You're going to jail. ICE will be crushed.
So the other thing too, though, this is what's worrisome. Venezuela is filled to the brim, not just oil, all kinds of critical minerals, diamonds, gold, uranium,
oil.
Yeah, everything you can name of, Venezuela has it. So that's another thing that we definitely need to watch out for.
Is there a Trump Tower in Venezuela?
I'm sure there will be after this is over with. But the other thing, Trump is also threatened to go to war with Nigeria over killing Christians.
Oh, what is that about?
That is insane. And so, again, just to touch on this, folks, the Christians are in the south, the Muslims are in the north, and the terrorists are in the north, and they're killing even more. They're killing more Muslims than they are killing Christians.
Right.
And so the girls, if you remember a few years ago, those girls that got kidnapped, the Chibok girls, they were Muslims from the north.
Right.
And so a lot of terrorist activities. So, and just to let you guys know, Nigeria is roughly divided, you know what I mean, between Christians and Muslims, with maybe about 10% of maybe animist and other indigenous religions. But for the most part, it's about 40-something% Muslim, 40-something% Christian. So they're evenly divided. And they oftentimes, they take turns, and sometimes they'll elect a president from the north. They alternate, and then they'll elect the president from the south. Then they'll go back and elect the president from the north. They have a system that works for them. And so there's no one religion or population that's dominating the other population. But this man is using this as another excuse to conduct some kind of military activity to distract. And so
Yeah, and he ain't gonna. In my opinion, that's just a bluff. He ain't gonna start no war with Nigeria.
right.
That'd be the biggest mistake he ever made.
I can never see them putting boots on the ground. They remember Somalia and they remember Niger. But
Oh my
so
God.
we're gonna once again, folks, we're gonna take a really quick break, and we will be right back. And again, this is Contemporary Black Voices, and see you on the other side.